Welcome back to Beautiful Mind today, and thank you very much for having me as your guest. I'm very grateful of that. If you're new here, I'm Roland Attenborough, and I am the leading GANN scientific and analytical researcher. Today we're going to be discussing a forecast of Bitcoin and what we could see. Today I've just populated the daily chart, and I wanted to discuss with you some of the things about this. At this time, we were calling for a top or a blow-off topping pattern to form between November 4th and November 12th. And that we could possibly see as high as up towards 81. Our next target's up. And we did. We came up and we pushed upon 77 here. And we've sat here. Let's just zoom in really quick and then we will zoom out. Taking a look at what we're talking about here. We were discussing heavily that a heavy rally would take place and that we could see a retest and a move through 73,000. We have done so and seen that on the hourly chart now. We've also seen it on the daily chart, which is another confidence builder. We still have two more hurdles. This one has been completed now, and we've been 1 week above this level. The next and last and most important metric now for us is the monthly chart, and that by December we have to stay above and get back above these levels. I've left our circles of our target places that we previously were discussing, and just because our targets are met doesn't mean we should be high-fiving and dancing around. Right now, Bitcoin is in a very elevated position, and prices right now have made it into new territory and are looking at other price discoveries moving forward. What will we see? Well, probably by our 10th, 11th, and 12th month, which is February, March, and April, we will therefore be up higher in the chart. As I was discussing with you earlier, we could see these moves. And what were we saying? Well, we were saying, looking back now on the daily chart here, we have some angles that are running up and we're going to discuss these. We also have a price discovery angle that is the exact same angle as this January 2023 low at 38K and this August 8th low at 49K, and I believe that we need to speak about these really quickly. Note also that they are also the same velocity and the same vector or angle, and we're going to talk about this one. Here's our March low at 19K and our September low at 24, where I told you to buy. These are 180 degrees apart. These aren't quite the 180 degrees apart, however, but we've lined up these data points here and we're going to discuss them. And let's go just take a real quick look. I think I just need to gently remind you how this is. Careful not to cover this up with the square. These are very important angles right now, and our price discovery angle for our topping pattern needs to as well be the same vector. Our next most important one is our low here, which we talked about at 38. Let's go ahead and let's move up. Again, we have two data points connecting, just as we do on this one. Let's move up. Right now, we're in price discovery mode, and just because our target areas were hit doesn't necessarily mean we will continue to make these. We need a good reaction, and I think very much so one of these angles here running out in the future will be an angle we sit on. And why do I say that? Well, trying to be careful not to cover everything up. I think that by February, the late part of February here, and that's our 10th month, February, March, and this April period. That's right, we're going to be at these tops, right? There's 121,000 right here, right? Our old top is 73. To square out that would be 112,000. Do you think we could do that? I think very much so we can do that. This price discovery is right on time, and I can teach you more about this. I have another tutorial coming up where I'm going to show you how to also find the price, as William did, using the longitude of the planets around. And he has a very big synopsis on that, and I'm going to do a teaching in addition to my course, so look for that. Looking further ahead, what do we have in the future here? I think that by June, and particularly by August, right in here, that we will be needing to make a move up. And that I think very much so, before the end of this year, this low angle from these lows will square out with our top here, and we will have made our top pattern. I also feel that where this angle crosses our top, that we will also be experiencing a pull down, and we will have a resetting, and then possibly we will be readdressing and moving up. And once we do, the price levels of these structures can equal 111, 120, 127, 133, 139, 145, 151, 158, 169, 176, and 180. And we can also spin around to the 190, 197, 204, and I think that it's possible we can have a major blow off up to and possibly touch this 200,000. Sorry, I have everything covered up on the chart here for you guys, but that's what I'm thinking. And just from the discoveries that I've been doing here, it looks very much like this angle here is vibrating very strong. And we've also been sitting on these angles of 65 and 60. So I'll pull back to 57 now, guys. So here comes the bad news. So let's just move in real quickly here, and let's now expand this, trying not to waste your time and not waste mine as well. Let's take a look at what kind of price pullbacks we could see. So far now, we have yet to see another equal 20% pullback as we did March 5th. And that was a one-day pullback. What would this represent? Well, we would be sitting back at 71%, or 71,000, sorry. Let's go take a look at another price discovery. 23.6 is a Fibonacci level, and we would be sitting back again on 69. So this again agrees with our square. Let's go have a look at another price discovery. And our Fibonacci series is 38.2, and we have yet to see a walloping pullback, but it agrees terrifically with our angles here and our low, and this would represent 55 and 56 and 57 here. So, and this is vibrating very strong here. So it is very possible we could easily see a pullback like that. Now this is the middle bar here, and we've talked about this, so this is a really important level. This is a 50% level between these 2 points, and we would need to stay above this. As I told you, I'm waiting for this to sit down and give us our monthly confirmation, and then I'm a buyer. Okay guys, I kind of gave you a little bit of an idea of what we can see into the future. Just because I'm saying it can come back to here doesn't necessarily mean it will. We first need to readdress this area here and be in a confirmation that we're in a bull market. And a violation of this will bring us back down, and we'll be re-challenging these areas. So we're very bullish right now, but we're watching for these angles to be violated and have just a really good reaction, a good pullback, maybe a 7 to 10 day. What would that look like? Again, well, we have to look at this, guys. I mean, it's all fine and dandy that you use your emotions, but that's not going to save you when this thing makes some moves. So we need to take into account what we could see. Well, after 7 days, that would be November 19th. So around there, and the 20th, I would expect a low to be in. And from there, we would have one heck of a rally. Or we could have a blow off up to that. We could have a 7-day move up. And remember now, what about our 10-day? We talk about this stuff, right? That's November 22nd, right? November 22nd, Pluto and the Sun, right? There's the Sun. Pluto's going into a new sign. Okay, so out from that, we were talking about we need to go out and see a 20-day or 21-day pullback would bring us into the very first day of December. We could have a low there. We talked about this now, our 38.2. Will that happen? Not necessarily. However, we do have to be aware that this may happen. Okay, now moving forward again, we're talking about this January, February, and March here. Okay, so I think that by the time we've moved out 73 days, we will have squared out our old low, and we could very much be just sitting on this part of the chart, which would represent right here, which is our old very beginning bottom at 15, and an old bottom moving down in our bear market, and an old topping area while moving up. So that's a very significant area, and we could experience something out to there. And given the fact that we're squaring this top here, if it's to be not, if we don't get above this top, then this 73-day count from this breakaway here will be super live and active, and we will come back and sit on this area right here, and that would square out perfectly. So I would be a buyer if this held right here. Even if it violated this and came down and did more price discovery, I'd be watching it to play out. This is an old bottom here, right? This January 23rd. That's a 1-year bottom. So I would expect something significant to happen there. Okay, guys. I thought I'd share this stuff with you. It's a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I guess that's how it is right now. I get some really good comments from people. Oh, sorry, I guess you guys can't see it because this square is in the way. What can we do there? Well, we could make this thing really tiny. That's what we can do. Thank you, Spirit, Caterpillar, also Miguel, and Yosida. Thank you very much, Yosi. I really appreciate your comments. Same with you. And yeah, well, for now we're spot on, but let's just not high five, guys. Like I said, we're not out of the woods yet. So peace and love.